Optronic Solutions Limited, based in Hemel Hempstead, Hertfordshire, designs and manufactures integrated optical systems for medical, industrial and defence markets. They were struggling with their previous MRP system, which was cumbersome and with limited functionality.
The biggest ones were the user interface wasn't particularly good, to be honest with you. To get drilled down on information, you had to open multiple screens, so it just took longer to gain any information you required. The shop floor loading system was almost non-existent, just didn't do that very well at all. So it made forecasting, capacity planning really difficult. And the other issue, I guess, that we were struggling with was stock control. We could find out, where our stock was, but it took a long time to run any reports or get the information on stock and work in progress valuation.
At the beginning of 2014, Beck Optronic decided to investigate either upgrading or replacing their MRP system, but the business was also dealing with other issues.
At the beginning of 2014, we got to a point where we were struggling with the MRP system that we had, and the business was struggling as well. The manufacturing business was a large organisation by our standards now, and we were looking around for something that gave us a bit more functionality, would help us with stock control particularly, and would help with planning as we went forward. So we engaged in looking around for a new system. We looked at a few different areas, as well as looking at upgrades on the current system that we had. We decided that we'd try and move forward with the 123 system, having been on the workshops.
Staff attended an evaluation workshop early in 2014 and were immediately impressed.
It was really good. It was really informative. It gave you the opportunity to relate your business to something that was actually happening in the real world, as opposed to just having a brochure and run through the software with a salesperson, if you like. So that process was important in our decision making, definitely.
They selected 123insight with staff attending training in April 2014, and Andy liked the fact that it was offered under no obligation, on the understanding that if they didn't wish to move ahead afterwards, they could walk away with nothing to pay.
I think the approach of the training, how it worked and how we could actually look at the system beforehand, I think the system itself was really good. I think it was not cumbersome at all. The user interface, I keep coming back to that, was good for us. It worked really well. Information was available kind of straight away. So I think it ticked a lot of boxes.
At this point, the company continued to struggle, entering a period of administration in the summer of 2014. It successfully emerged in October, reshaped as a new, smaller business, moving away from some manufacturing processes and focusing more on design, development, prototyping and manufacturing of optical and optoelectronic systems. Beck Optronic immediately set about moving ahead with 123insight, knowing that the new business would need a better system than its predecessor, and organising an implementation day with 123insight staff. Having had painful experiences with previous systems, he was surprised at the ease at which the system could be implemented.
It was a bit unusual because we were transitioning into a new business. Having said that, the process for actually entering the data onto the system went really well. Very few glitches. The whole lead up to it was kind of planned really well. We were helped out all the way through it.
As well as reshaping the business and implementing 123insight, Beck Optronic also moved premises, delaying the go-live until March 2015. However, when they were ready, the rollout happened very smoothly.
We went live across the whole organisation, from sales order processing right the way through production, configuration control, dispatch and invoicing. So we went live day one, all in.
Immediately the company saw benefits, as processes were simplified and information was available to all staff, which Andy cited as a major plus.
I think the standout benefits was the fact that we gained data immediately, almost. I've talked about the user interface before. That was a big thing for us. It just made life so much easier, being able to drill down on batches, part numbers, purchase orders right the way through.
Paperwork dropped dramatically as many documents were stored electronically and emailed instead of being printed. and also documents could be easily customised to the company's style and brand.
There's no doubt that the paperwork has reduced from our previous system. In terms of purchase ordering, production scheduling, that kind of thing, the amount of paperwork that used to travel around the business was quite high. Now it's all done as part of the system. The shop floor team have access to loading, so there's no need for paper schedules and that kind of thing. So it makes a big difference to us. So the paper reduction is huge. It reshapes a lot of the forms, and we use some help and support from 123 as well to be able to do that.
The core MRP function of their previous system was limited, but with 123insight it was a much faster and less complex process.
The MRP system was cumbersome when in fact we very rarely used it on the previous system, purely because it was so awkward and so unwieldy. Whereas this, a click of a button, the MRP runs really smoothly, quickly, and we've got the data we need to make our purchasing and manufacturing decisions. So, automatically we then issue the route cards and works orders straight from the system. The picking list is created, and there's no other transactions within that. There's no need to print off any other documentation, run bills and materials, which we were doing in the previous system.
As data started flowing through the system, it gave them information on key areas of the business.
We use that as one of our key metrics for measuring lead times and on-time delivery performance. So for a start, using the 123 system, we can measure it. Very easily we can work out what value of our order book is overdue at any time, at any point in any time. That's a big factor. So that's definitely helped us to reduce our lead times significantly and overdues. The thing I think that 123 has brought to us is it's improved our traceability. So stock control, batch control, serial numbering, those kind of things have all improved as a result of 123.
Errors have reduced across all departments.
In the administrative roles, so sales order entry, that kind of thing, the system that we use now, 123, is much easier than the previous system. It was quite cumbersome, it didn't pull up part numbers for you, etc. So the administrative errors are down, there's no doubt about that. The MRP system makes a huge difference to stock control and purchasing, so we're not double ordering. Once we've set the part numbers up and set the parts on the system, the MRP system just stops us making mistakes in production. All of those just cut the amount of errors and also the amount of transactions that you're doing, which is a big thing. So if you're transacting more, there's a potential for making more errors.
Lead times have reduced, and with many products having a 10 to 12 week lead time in this sector, being able to reduce this has been very beneficial.
This is probably saved about a week to a week and a half of standard lead times. Certainly for larger systems. So it is a competitive market. We are trying to compete with everybody else in Europe as well as the Far East. So that's a challenge, but I think we've seen growth in our order book and profits as well.
And he also hasn't had any issues with needing assistance.
The support works really well, actually. I don't think we've ever had any issues in terms of using the support. If there isn't an immediate answer, it's a case of, okay, we'll call you back, and 9 times out of 10 it's a few minutes or half an hour.
And he concluded that although the 123insight business model initially attracted him, it was the functionality that ultimately persuaded him.
The upgrade cost was going to be significant for us, and was part of the decision we made. That was the decision that we needed to look elsewhere. The fact that there weren't any upfront costs for a new company as well made a significant difference, because obviously cash flow is all important when we're starting up, and the fact that we were able to use flexible licenses and pay monthly basis was a big plus. It gave us what we wanted. I think the biggest enhancement it gave us was in visibility of our stock and work in progress value. That was, I guess, where it exceeded our expectations most.